Are you concerned about the cost of college? I was too, until I found out about the Wisconsin Army National Guard. I serve part-time, just a few days a month, and the National Guard pays 100% of my college tuition. The best part? I serve locally, in the same community I attend college and live in. Interested? Learn more at nationalguard.com.
If you could use a dose of amazing and inspiring, AGT The Champions is just what the doctor ordered. The 40 best acts in Got Talent history back on the biggest stage.
This is a big deal.
We're talking the Olympics of talent, but with less curling. AGT The Champions will have the whole family cheering. 40 acts, one life-changing prize, no words.
OMG!
AGT The Champions, proof that the impossible isn't. Premieres tonight on NBC.
I am live. YouTube.com/RaceOneGamer. Okay, well, someone's to red.
Sorry, I can't help with that yet.
Okay, well, someone's to red.
Hey, look, it's love for my brother, no love for these bitches. They say they gon' change, but I ain't gon' listen. She fuck with my friends, she hide it, we admit it. My mind has been tripping, they burning these bridges. Screaming for love, let's just run out them digits. We talk for some years, I ain't talking about minutes. Free my big brother, he's stuck in the prison. You say you victim and playing, you in it. You did some shit and I cannot forget it. Love for my brothers, no love for these bitches. Now that you got me, my head going spinning. All of my friends, they like hating you tripping. Like, damn, why you do it like that? How you do me like that? How you do it like that? I can't even call back. You just sat me in the back. I'm talking like all that, but fuck it, it's all cat. Your brother, he a bitch, and my brothers, we all that. You acting like a female, you call me a cop.
Bad bitch wanna follow my team. It's sad that I know that. Bad bitch wanna follow my team. Some pop now. My team. Bitch, you're free. It's like that. I could put a green screen behind me. Still be able to go in through my door. Bad move. choking. I'm choking. I just choked so bad. Holy shit, dude. I almost choked. I'm so lucky my SMG is loaded. Yoink, yoink. Kind of scrimming this kid right now. Give me 1 second. How did that hit for 23? How did that hit for 23? Hamptons in the Hamptons. Alright, whatever. Same kid that won last round is bot. Oh my god, he has aimbot though. Holy sh. Fucking 70, dude. I'm quitting. These kids are dog. You're fucking serious, you hit that, right? Fuck, dude. No way. I still have the most fucking kills in the game.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back your. There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain. When I believed in forever, everything will stay the same. Now my heart feel like December when somebody say your name. Cause I can't reach out to call you, but I know I will one day. Yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Yeah, yeah. But everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say, hey, here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast
Ethan, what's
to
up,
the
bro?
ones that we lost on the way. Cause
The dreams bring back all the memories.
and the memories bring back your. Memories bring back your. There's a time that I remember when I never felt so low. And I felt all of the hatred was too powerful to stop. Now my heart feel like an ember, and it's lighting up the dark. I'll carry these torches for you.
It's a little hot, so be careful.
Thank you.
Be Stroganoff.
Everybody hurts sometimes.
Sweet.
Everybody hurts someday. Everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say, hey, here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back your.
That's good, dude. No way.
Memories bring back your. Memories bring back your. Memories bring back your.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh! Oh my god!
5G.
No way!
It's a brand new mobile network that's being rolled out right now. And some say that this new tech is going to revolutionize our lives. Others are convinced that 5G is dangerous.
They're going to put these towers everywhere, and people so hooked on their toys, they don't even know what's going down.
Brussels recently banned 5G, saying its people will not be guinea pigs. On Science Versus, how worried should you be about 5G? That's Science Versus 5G. Tap now on Spotify to hear it.
That's what you like.
Hey, I just created a professional Wix site for my business. Let's check it out. Go to Wix.com. There are hundreds of beautiful templates. Choose one that fits your business.
Hey guys, so for this video, I'm going to be trying out the fastest keyboard in the world. The keyboard I'm talking about is the SteelSeries Apex Pro. I got it from Best Buy for $200 on the dot, and it was actually the last one they had. Now, you're probably wondering what makes it so good and so frickin' expensive. Outside of Mongrel using it, it has by far the lowest actuation point and response time. Don't worry if you don't know what that means, because I'm gonna explain everything you have to know about keyboards and switches in a minute. Anyways, the reason I bought it was to see how much of a difference a faster switch would make in my gameplay. Most people, including me, are under the impression that keyboard switches are all preference and that just because it's faster doesn't mean it's gonna make you better. But today, we'll be taking that notion to the test. Lastly, I apologize for looking tired and for the mess behind me. I'm in the middle of moving back to my old house, which is why there's no rug down here and there's boxes everywhere, so just try to cut me some slack. With that being said, let's take a deeper look at the SteelSeries Apex Pro and compare it to my Ducky 1-2 Mini. So here it is, boys, in all of its glory. It's got the nice RGB on, and it's looking pretty thick, especially when you compare it to this tiny little guy over here. This is my old keyboard, my Ducky 1-2 Mini, all white with brown switches. The big difference here is that this is a 60% keyboard, so as you can see, there's no arrow keys, function keys, or anything like that. And when I line them up, you could really see how much bigger the SteelSeries one is, but it's not that much bigger because it still is a TKL. What a TKL stands for is 10 keyless, which means it doesn't have any of the numbers or the numpad over here. It just ends with the arrow keys. But the real reason this costs so much is because of its switches. It has what are called OmniPoint switches, which means you can adjust the point at which it actuates. It goes all the way from 3.2 millimeters, which is a lot and would be really heavy if you tried to press the key down, to 0.4 millimeters, which is ridiculously fast, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna be used to. So what a switch does is it sits under the keycap. It's literally under this, and when you press down on it, after a certain travel distance, it will reach its actuation point, at which point it performs whatever that key is on your keyboard. And the cool thing is that each switch has its own different feel, its own different noise, its own different actuation point, and its own different actuation force. There's numerous different brands like Cherry and Gateron, and then within each brand, there are different specific switches like this one, which is called a Cherry MX Blue. This one is a tactile switch and has a clicky feel to it, while all of these ones will have different feels. This one right here is the Cherry MX Red, which is very similar to the SteelSeries one I'm gonna use. Then I think this one is green. There's also black. There's a clear one, which is really heavy. This is the blue one I just had. And then there's a brown one, which was on my Ducky. So basically, we're gonna see what's better, my Ducky with the brown switches I'm used to.
I'm a serious gamer.
Guy on your left. Watch out, watch out.
But I don't play games with my money. That's why I shop online.
For the new SteelSeries Apex Pro, which has, like I said before, a 0.7 millisecond response time and a 0.4 millimeter actuation point. So I hope I taught you something about keyboard switches. Now let's go try it out. I'm weirdly excited for this. It's like a little kid on Christmas. Please make me mongrel. Right away, these things are so smooth. They're like butter. Sorry if I'm spamming my keyboard. I gotta get a feel for it. Know what I'm saying? These feel so much different than the Ducky because the Ducky had brown switches, which are tactile and have a bump. These ones are linear, which means it does not have a bump, so it's insanely smooth. And I actually think I like it a lot more. The weird thing though is these don't feel that much different than my browns. Like I just did a triple edit like normal. Did I just get ripped off, boys, for $200? These feel the exact same in terms of actuation force and actuation point. Let me go read a manual or something really quick. Do not worry, I found the issue, and the issue is that I'm an idiot who had the actuation point at the wrong setting. Apparently you have to change it through the display over here. I don't know if you can see it where my hand is. And looking now, I have it on the 5th, which is I think the middle. Yeah, it goes all the way up to 10 and all the way down to 1. This should be the 0.4 millimeters. Definitely feels lighter. It feels a lot more like my silvers. Okay. Okay, I kinda like these. Yeah, everything is faster, but I don't know if faster is better. Bruh, I can't do normal combos that I usually do. I just don't think I'm used to how fast these are yet. I think the only place we can truly figure it out is in an actual match. So let me stop bullying this robot. And let's get into an actual game. At this point, you all should know exactly where I'm going. My favorite place on the map, Risky Reels. Oh my god. Played a little ring around the rosy there. Those kills really didn't have anything to do with the keyboard, but it's a good sign so far. What are you doing? This guy's just healing. That was pretty clean though. This keyboard, I like it. I like it a lot. Holy. Well, push him now. That's called zero ping. Dude, come on now. I gotta outrun their zone. Run! My god. Ah! Mind you, this is a public match. Look what zone we're on. It's gonna be a heal off. It's gonna be a heal off. Oh god. What the heck is going on? Oh my god, this is a public match. What the heck was that? Oh my gosh. That's a public match, boys. What has Fortnite become? Oh my gosh. At least we secured the dub. That was hilarious. That was such a weird game. Overall, guys, that's gonna do it for me. My final review of the keyboard is that I do really like it, and it probably will replace my Ducky 1-2 mini giveaway maybe, but I'm not sure if I like the fastest setting, so for now, I don't think that faster is better. I'm gonna stick with what I thought before and say that it all comes down to preference. So if you enjoyed the video, do be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel somewhere down here, and to turn on post notifications. Shout out to everyone using code Jerian. I put all your names up on the screen. I love all you guys. I really do appreciate all your support. Otherwise, that's it from me, and I'll see you guys in the next
Hi guys, today I'll be showing you guys the
If you shop on Amazon, you should use Wikibuy. It's a browser extension that automatically...
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my brand new trigger stoppers that I added to my controller and how game-changing they can be, especially for fast editing. I know me making videos on doubling your edit speed is like a meme now, but this 100% doubled my edit speed and only after 1 day. But this video is definitely not what you're expecting, and it's also pretty dangerous to do it to your controller, but we'll get into that in just a second. If you guys could drop a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already, that'd be much appreciated, and use code FLEA in the item shop if you would like to support me further. Anyway, I'm just going to show you some gameplay I got last night using the trigger stoppers. Then I'm going to show you how you can make your own for less than $5. So let's get right into it. got last night, nothing special there. I wasn't completely used to them on the first day, but let's get into how I did it. So first, let me start off by showing you the trigger stoppers. As you guys know, this is my controller. Flip the camera. Alright, that's better. By the way, I'll be making a video on the grips that I use soon, but if I just flip my controller over so you can see the triggers, as you can see right there, if it focuses, yep, there are my trigger stoppers. So homemade trigger stoppers on my triggers, and they work perfectly. So pushing them in right there, and they don't go in all the way, they stop where they should. So they are the trigger stoppers on my controller. I'll tell you right now, it wasn't easy, but wow, is it worth it. My standard PS4 controller has never felt better with these homemade trigger stoppers. Although I did put these in yesterday, I've actually used them before. This is a very, very old controller I used to use a couple of years ago, and you can see on the right trigger, I've done the exact same thing. So there we have, it's finally focused. So yeah, I've done it to the right trigger on this one as well. So if I show you what it looks like different, so left trigger goes all the way down like that, and right trigger stops there. So it stops right where I put that in there. I put this trigger stopper in this controller back in about probably season 4 of Fortnite. And when this controller broke, I ended up buying a new controller, and I never ended up putting trigger stoppers in it, but I actually forgot how good trigger stoppers feel until I put these in yesterday. I'm telling you right now, every single controller I buy from now on, I'm going to be doing this. And before I show you how I did it, let me just tell you why I did it in the first place. Alright, so I currently have opened my gamepad tester, as well as I'm on Fortnite. And what this basically does is it just tells me which buttons I'm pressing. As you can see, if I just start pressing random buttons on the controller, so random buttons will start showing up on the gamepad tester. But now if I show you L2 and R2, now these are actually charge up buttons, and what that basically means is that it's a number that slowly increases the more you push down on the trigger. The reason the Xbox and the PS4 controllers have this is for games that involve vehicles. Obviously, the more you push in R2, the faster your vehicle gets, and also because the trigger kind of feels like a gun when you're pushing it in. But in Fortnite, we don't really want that. We just want to be able to press the buttons as fast as possible. After all the years Fortnite's been out, it's gotten to the point where the faster you can do things, the better. And obviously everyone wants to be a faster editor, that's why you clicked on this video in the first place. But anyway, if I show you right now, as you can see, L2 comes under B6. So if I push in B6, as you can see, it's on 1.0. But if I slowly let go of L2, the number will slowly decrease. So it's not just an instant number, like if I just press L1, it's instantly 0 or 1, so it's either on or off. But with these trigger buttons, they slowly increase, and as they slowly increase, the number gets larger. But you don't need that charge up button in Fortnite, you just want to be able to press it. And the L2 and R2 triggers actually have a dead zone of 0.10. So if I zoom that in a bit more, as you can clearly see, the number now charges up, so it goes all the way from 0 to 1. If I show you with R2, I'll slowly press in R2, which is B7, and it activates at 0.10. So I've got my controller, I'm slowly pressing that button in on B7, and as soon as it goes above 10, as you can see, it hits. Under 10, I'm sitting at 9, doesn't do anything. As soon as I go above 10 or 11, it starts actually activating. So if the button activates at a dead zone of 0.10, why do you need to press it in all the way? Which is why I put trigger stoppers on my controller, which actually stop it at, so this one stops it at 50, so I'm only pushing in half the distance. If I'm pushing the button in at half the distance, it means I can push it in twice as fast. I've also done the same to my L2, so L2 sits at around 50, and this one, they both sit around 50, so I've pretty much cut the button press distance in half. It's the same reason SCUF controllers have trigger stoppers. It's just so you can press the button in faster. But if you don't want to pay $300 for a controller, I can show you how I did mine. And first off, please do not do this without a parent, alright? Super glue is not a toy. All it takes is a bit of glue on your fingers and you can super glue your fingers together, as well as if you have a bit of super glue on your finger and rub your eye, you can literally go blind in your eyes, so this is no joke. I do not condone doing this, so please just don't do it unless you're as dumb as me. But it also helps if you have an old controller lying around. I think I got 3 lying around, so you can test it first on that. It's also really easy to ruin your controller. I almost glued my triggers down, which would have messed up my whole controller, and I would have had to have gone and bought a new one. But anyway, basically what I did was I went out and bought a bit of super glue, and I also used an old cable tie, cut the cable tie super small, and then I added super glue to my trigger. Now what you pretty much do is you super glue cable ties, or really anything you can find. You can glue metal bolts if you like to, just anything you can glue to the trigger that will stop it from going all the way down. So as you can see, I glued. Just a cut off bit of cable tie there, and it stops the trigger from going in, so you actually glue it onto the trigger. You only need a small amount of super glue, but it's actually really easy to glue your trigger down shut. So while the glue is drying, actually just keep pressing your trigger to make sure it's not gluing down. This is also what it looked like on my old controller, so as you can see, it's on there pretty tight. If I push it down like this, it's perfect, nothing's wrong with it, just let the glue dry, and that's pretty much it. It took me about 3 attempts until I finally got it working, but once they're on and they're dry and you're using it, you'll fall in love and you'll never go back. I just thought I'd make a quick video on my new trigger stoppers on my controller, because I'm sure if I mention it in a video, everyone will be like, well, Flea, what do you mean about trigger stoppers? Like, well, what are they?
Good to see you.
Yeah, hey, what's with the polka dots?
No, what do you mean?
Polka dots are out. It's polka.
Hey tubers, it is me again, Ben from The Curious Consumer, and today I have a video for you by request actually. My brother-in-law, a couple of stress on them or anything like that, so you don't want to like rip this out. There were these little tabs that were on the top, so I Alright, let's get the backing. And remember, we have down below. Watch some of my other videos. I've done this to a few different types of controllers. And keep an eye out for any of my future videos that we'll be doing pretty soon. I appreciate you guys checking out my channel and watching. Again, guys, unofficial, well, not official PlayStation, but an official modded Elite PlayStation controller. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Don't forget to smack that like button, give me those thumbs up, and tell your friends. Get them in here to watch these videos, guys. This is pretty cool stuff, and I'm really excited I get to do this for you guys. Again, guys, rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Hey tubers, Ben the Curious Consumer here, bringing you a part 2 of the PlayStation 4 controller mod. As I'm waiting for this one specific part to come in, I just got notification that it's going to be in very soon, but it was delayed. I will be posting another video for a part 3 to the controller mod. But today what I wanted to do was just address this little thing that I've been having some trouble with. After I had done this mod for the first time, what I realized was some of the parts on here weren't really fitting correctly. So what I started having some trouble with was the triggers, or not triggers, the sticks here sticking on the sides here. So I'm going to address that in just a second. And I also wanted to address the directional pad. When I first put the controller together, everything felt pretty good. I did feel a little bit of stickiness on the thumbsticks, and what I ended up doing was taking a Dremel or multi-tool and actually kind of just skim the inside. Now I know this isn't something that you have to do. It was just something that I was doing. I don't know if my sticks were just a little sticking a little higher on the actual mounts, whereas some other people's haven't had those same problems. Mine just seemed to be having that problem, so I just dremeled out a little bit of the plastic on the inside of the controller here, and I think you can kind of see the rough edges right on the inside here. Also, this directional pad. So when I first put this together, this directional pad was very, very loose. What I was finding was the plastic green piece that I was putting on the inside didn't make contacts with the thumb pad so well, so I had to push really hard onto the directional pad. And if you guys, just to recap, remember I had to actually cut the PlayStation 4 controller here because the way the PlayStation 4 controller normally sits, it has a cross section in the middle. So you see that little cross section right here. So I had to cut that cross section out in order to make this fit. And as you can see how this one just springs back and forth, that actually works pretty well because that's an actual working one. So on this one here, I had to address that issue. So what I ended up doing was took off the membrane, and I took the original thumbstick that the PlayStation 4 had, or the directional pad that the PlayStation 4 had, and I had to modify it. So this was the original plastic piece. The plastic piece originally has 4 edges here and some nubs on the back. So you'll have 1, 2, 3 nubs and 1 on the bottom, but it's a lighter nub on the bottom and 1 nub in the center. I tried gluing some pieces on to make the contacts a little better, but it still was too loose. It wasn't make the contacts, so I dremeled those pieces off and sanded it down. Then I took the directional pad, the existing directional pad that was in it, in the PlayStation 4. I took that out and I sawed that down to a smaller piece of plastic, which I have right here. So this piece right here, I basically dremeled it down to, well, relatively nothing. So I took off all the top portion of it.
Yeah. Square just closed everything. Fucking hell. One day I'll get that to work.
When I faced it, emotions I erased it. What's the call? In love with the money, it's fuck 'em all. You fucked up my bro, I can't fuck with y'all. I don't want her unless she gon' do the dog. I got everything I ever prayed for. The shawty gon' suck it right through the drugs. R.I.P. to the ones I forever lost. R.I.P. to the money, I ran it up. If she bad, Michael Jack, I'ma let her know. And if she do how she say, then I can't let her go. Oh, I can't let her go. 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 On and on, she go on and on, on. Bitch, get up off my motherfucking phone. All these trigger knockers get these bands on my long. Collect the check, then fuck it all. New brand, too bad. I'ma see you later, shawty. New frick, new brand. Fuck about that all. I do what I do, 'cause I am who I am. Yeah, I don't need a reason or an explanation. And that's just the way it is, way the way. And that's just the way it is, way the way. I'm rich and on my own, and that's why she keep calling my phone. What's it called? In love with the money, it's fuck 'em all.
Dude, my fucking controller's fucked up.
She gon' do the dog. I got everything I ever prayed for. The shawty gon' suck it right through the drugs. R.I.P. to the ones I forever lost. R.I.P. to the money, I ran it up. If she bad, Michael Jack, I'ma let her know. And if she do how she say, then I can't let her go. Oh, I can't let her go. I can't let her go. I can't let her go. I can't let her go.
Dude, my freaking... My freaking controller's fucked up.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake. 'Cause I don't fucking care at all. You've been out all night, I don't know where you've been. You're slurring all your words, not making any sense. But I don't fucking care at all. 'Cause I have hella feelings for you. I act like I don't fucking care, like they ain't even there. 'Cause I have hella feelings for you. I act like I don't fucking care, 'cause I'm so fucking scared. I'm only a fool for you, and maybe you're too good for me. I'm only a fool for you, but I don't fucking care at all. Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake. 'Cause I don't fucking care at all. You've been out all night, I don't know where you've been. You're slurring all your words, not making any sense. But I don't fucking care at all. 'Cause I have hella feelings.
Oh my god, I screwed this all up.